Hey there, everyone. Good to see you all. Well, another day has passed. And you know what that means? It's time to share how it went. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, it all started around, I would say 9 o'clock. I got up out of my bed to use the restroom, and as I was getting out, I noticed our cat Autumn, female calico, long haired, was in the house eating food, which was a very unusual sight for me because I rarely see Autumn these days for whatever reason. And when I do see her, she's usually outside, like on the neighbor's yard or in the bushes or somewhere like that. So seeing her in the house eating was pleasant surprise. Well, after I was done, I decided to go back to bed, and then eventually I woke up at around 11 o'clock. Now, when I got up, my mom was on her phone in the living room, and I greeted her. She greeted me, but I was taken aback by how hot the day really was. It was like so hot. So I asked her if it'd be all right if I could close our sliding glass door for the den and turn on the um, air central cooling air conditioning for the house. And she said, go for it. So I did that as soon as I could. And it was starting to rapidly cool down. And then my mom made the suggestion of eating watermelon. And I was like, well, okay. So she went in the back, got the watermelon, and cut the largest slice ever for me for it. It was like this thick, not even gonna lie. Um, but yeah, it was a huge slice, and we split that huge slice together. And then we decided to get out Chat GPT, and together we talked about if there are any data centers in California, and then we found out it's mostly like cloud-based data centers. Not really. There are some AI data centers, but they're not as prevalent here as they are in places like Texas or Arizona, where there's a lot more room. Um, so yeah, we had a really long, interesting conversation, and that was very very interesting. I remember we were like talking about how like what are they going to do about the energy crisis about data centers, and apparently ChatGPT stated that they already have like the people who are building them have a plan of creating like nuclear power plants set right next to these data centers to ensure that they have plenty of power going forward, which is interesting that that's going on. And then after that, um, my sister got up, we greeted her, and then my mom and sister had an extensive conversation. I used the restroom, and then when I was done, um, I remember I made the suggestion of, hey, how about we watch the latest Y Files? And my mom was like, ooh, that sounds like fun. Um, so we were about to watch it, but then my sister stated that she was thinking about making the suggestion for us to go to Dollywood, a location that is based on Dolly Parton and her music. Um, and then she stated she felt like it was such a synchronicity because when she decided to look up where Dollywood was and how much it would cost to go, it was just so happened to be right around the same time that Dolly Parton herself died. Uh, she died today, which was a shocking turn of events. I was, not expecting Dolly Parton to die today. Um, was I the biggest fan of Dolly Parton? No, I didn't really listen to much of her music, save for probably the few songs that played at the grocery store I work at. I know my mom was a huge fan of her, though, and immediately when she heard the news, we looked up a video about her on YouTube, and it was like a CBS news video talking about her life and her legacy. Um, and yeah, what more to say other than wow, very shocking. And my heart goes out to her family, and I hope they can, um, work through this difficult time, and may her legacy continue to live on. So yeah, after we were done being struck by the shock of that news, we decided to go and watch the Y-Files episode. And this one was interesting because it was about the Basque bloodline and how it apparently relates to Atlantis. And yeah, it was a really interesting video. As we were watching it, I remember I got a cup of coffee. I got 2 donuts that were given to me by one of my coworkers last night. I heated those in the microwave for like 15 seconds, and then an additional 10 seconds when they weren't fully heated through, and then they were perfectly heated through after that. And yeah, we checked it out. It was a very compelling, interesting video about how the Basque people, like their lineage goes way back, and apparently they've got like A negative blood or special type of blood that like my mom apparently has, which is interesting. A negative. So yeah, we joked around saying that I guess we're part Atlantean. So that was pretty crazy. Um, yeah, and the video was really interesting. It was just about uh, the way of life of the Atlanteans and how they lived and how they, you know, ran their country. There was like apparently 8 kings that fought a bull. It was 8 old men against one big giant bull. That was pretty crazy. And like when they defeated the bull, they like sacrificed it and drank its blood with wine. It was like, whoa, that's crazy. Apparently they wanted to keep their bloodline pure, so they only like tried to marry within their immediate circle. But that usually never ends well because the gene pool's small, and then when it's small, you get funky stuff that happens. And yeah, a big earthquake flood happened. A lot of the Basque people, or the people who lived in Atlantis, left. They eventually arrived like where the Basque people live, and then they apparently they took a souvenir with them that was like a bronze hand with like a symbol written on it or words written on it. And they used that to carry on their tradition. And it's a very, very cinematic video for sure. And yeah, after we're done watching that, my mom and my sister were really into the whole bloodline, and they were looking into that. I decided to film AJ from the Y-Files doing his advertisement at the end, and then taking a picture of the alien in the background of his videos, and then using Google's Flow video editing software to replace AJ with the alien, so the alien had the same movements as AJ, and it was a pretty funny end result. I then needed to take a shower, so I took a shower, I got dressed, I put on moisture cream, I left, I said goodbye to my mom and sister. My mom was snuggling our cat Malcolm, and and then I drove off to work. Eventually, when I arrived at work, um, it was pretty interesting. I punched in, I greeted everyone, I um, put on my sweep vest, and I helped bag for a while. Then I did my sweeps in the produce area and then in the break room area. And then I remember, I swept the store floor. I brought the, after I was done sweeping, I asked for my first break. I punched in all of my sweeps on time. I decided to use my break to get my lunch for the week, including an Italian sub sandwich, pizza flavored chips, the ones that have that circular guy with the mustache. Forgetting what he's called. And A&W zero sugar root beer in a bottle, 16-ounce bottle. So I got that. Put it in the break room along with the soda in the freezer so it could cool down faster. And then I took that time going down, taking out an order. I was told by one of my coworkers that my co-closer for the night's first time they're co-closing for the night, and I would be needing to guide them on certain things. I was like, all right, sounds good. And then after that, I remember I took out all the trashes and I brought on the bags on a U-boat and brought them up front, started loading the bags in the check stands, and then it was time to go to lunch. So I punched out for lunch. I went upstairs. I had my sub sandwich with mustard and mayonnaise that I put on, that I got from downstairs from the deli. I had the chips, the exact serving size, and the soda. And as I was eating that, I was watching a Digital Foundry covering the new Gears of War game, D-Day or E-Day. It was E-Day, and showcasing the how the game's performing. It was a pretty compelling watch. After that, it was compelling because seeing the game run at different settings while being one of the heavier UE5 games, utilizing all of its features like Lumen and Nanite, was a very cool thing to see. And yeah, after watching that, I remember returning back to work. Oh wait, before returning back to work, I decided after I was done watching that video, I decided to watch the Ross Coulthart video where he's talking with a guy who studies UAPs near nuclear sites, and he found out that for some reason these UAP, a lot of them like to hang out near nuclear facilities for some reason. And then it reminded me, I wonder how much cheaper it is to live near a nuclear power plant. And apparently, if you live near a nuclear power plant, then your electricity bill is $100 to $150 cheaper, because apparently nuclear power is more, energy dense than like regular electrical grid power. So I just thought that was interesting. And yeah, then I returned back to work, punched back in. Um, I did a whole lot of different things, from helping a lady out to her car, to finish filling up all the bags in the check stands, um, to uh, helping my co-closer by wiping down some soda that fell on the floor, and then I helped another one of the co-managers by spraying some yogurt that fell on the floor, wiping that down. It was unusual tonight because there were 3 closing managers. Very rare that happens. Usually it's like 1 closing manager, but it was 3, so I was like, whoa, interesting. And then I helped out my co-closer by because one of the co-managers asked me to show him to how to what to do for bringing carts and signs in. So I showed them, okay, you gotta get 18 carts, bring them in side by side, 8 on each side, or 16 carts, and then put signs on the back of them and the other signs on the and cleaner in the front of them. Cleaner being the thing you take to wipe the cart down and wipe your hands before going into the store. So yeah, once they knew that, they were good. They asked me if I needed help with anything else, and I asked if they could wipe down check stands 3, one check stands 1, 2, and 5, and then they asked if they could do anything else, and I was like, check stands 6, please. So yeah, I wiped down 8, 7, and 4 and 3, and he wiped down 5, 6, 1 and 2, which I was very grateful for. Really much appreciate that a lot. Thank you. And then I had to clear a lot. There was a busted up cart they had to bring in the back, but there was a pallet in the front, so I had to ask for help from one of the managers to move the pallet out of the way so I could bring the car outside. The funny thing was, it looked like I could open the door, but when I opened it, I couldn't get the cart fully through, so I decided to close it before asking for help from one of the co-managers. But when I tried closing it, it was caught on one of the cans. The cans were preventing it from the pallet, were preventing it from being closed, so I needed to wait for help, and I was able to get it. So yeah, thank you about that. I brought the broken cart outside next to the trash bin. Then I closed the door, and then after that, I closed the produce blinds. I did one quick sweep. I got the ads. I updated the ads up to the front of the store. I wiped down check stands 3 and 4. I then punched out. I said goodnight to my 2 of my co-managers who were setting up shop for tomorrow. And then I went into my car. I drove off home. When I arrived at home, I brought up the trash bins. I threw away the trash that was in the kitchen, put a new one in, and then I got some like trash juice that was on my arm, so I had to wash my arm immediately after throwing away that trash bin. And then I got out of my work clothes into my more casual clothes. And I was about to record the video, but then my mom came in and greeted me, and then showed me my sister's black cat call me was in the room with her, and we went out, and it looked like he originally wanted to get outside, but then he decided to run back in my mom's room again and hang out on her bed. So I decided to like pet him, and he purred, and that was very unusual for me because I don't really hear him purr a whole lot. So that was kind of cool. And then my mom, me, and the cat decided to watch a video on her TV in her room about 1930s life in color with sound. Um, I forget the location, but it was like near a boat area. It was a really interesting video, just people living their lives in color. It's really cool. After the video was done, I was done petting the cat, which he looks like a flattened, like, those bear mats you see in like cartoons and stuff. It looks like one of those. It was very cute and funny. I then said goodnight to my mom, the cat, told both I loved them. I went into my room, and I decided to record this video. Yeah, it's pretty much the day as straight as I can get it. Um, Pretty good day, all things considered. I will now publish this video, record my Dune story, and then, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll eat some cereal, then take my vitamins and brush my teeth and go to bed. Who could say? Well, thanks for watching. Very much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.